Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Just Law on IQRA TV. I'm your host Ilyas Bulbulia and I'll be with you for the next hour. As our regular viewers are aware, on Just Law we normally discuss an area of law which is of interest to you, our viewers. Secondly, more importantly, Just Law is a live show. So whatever questions that you have on any aspect of English law, you'll be able to call on the number that appears at the bottom of the screen, and hopefully I'll be able to give you some guidance in relation to your questions. Now on this show, hopefully I should be able to cover most aspects of English law. We get a number of questions on immigration law matters, which is fantastic. However, in addition to immigration law matters, I am able to advise on other matters such as family law matters, criminal law matters, whether it's a personal injury matter question, any litigation matter. So whatever your questions are, please feel free to ring on the number that appears at the bottom of your screen, and hopefully we can have a discussion in relation to that. Now, just a couple of points before we get going. Obviously, on a live show, it's not possible to take very detailed information from callers who call in. If it transpires that I need more detailed information, then I'll ask you to leave your number with the control room, and then we can have a more thorough discussion off air. And again, as you will appreciate, it's not possible to look at documents live on air. Sometimes it's the case that I do need to look at documents before I am able to advise you further. If that's the case with your query, with your concern, then again I will make arrangements for you to send those documents to me by email, and then we can have a look at that. Now, as always, we have a topic that we discuss which is relevant, which is topical. And over the last couple of weeks, the topic that we started on was the issue regarding nationality. A lot of people are obviously at that stage where they feel that they are eligible to apply for British nationality. We started looking at that over the last couple of weeks, but we've really run out of time. So I just want to backtrack, go back to where we started and look at the position of nationality. In my experience, what seems to be happening now is that even nationality applications, which were meant to be relatively simple applications, what's happening now is that applicants, especially those who try to apply on their own, they are encountering difficulties even with nationality applications. And as we go through the show today, I want to highlight where the problems occur, whether it's in relation to residence, absences, criminal convictions, good character requirement. There's a number of places where you could potentially run into difficulty. So that's what I want to look at in detail. So as we go through the requirements, we'll also highlight the places where you could run into difficulties. So although in terms of immigration applications, this is relatively straightforward, but there are difficulties with that. Let's take our first call for the day. Hello, अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
वालेकुम सलाम। इलियास भाई कैसे हो?
जी अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह ठीक ठाक है, आप कैसे हो? ठीक हो?
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह।
जी।
इलियास भाई ओसीआई के बारे में पूछना था, आपको कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन मिलेगी?
और थोड़ी सी बेसिक इन्फॉर्मेशन बेसिक इन्फॉर्मेशन, वैसे इतना एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है ओसीआई में, मगर कोई बात नहीं, आप पूछ सकते हैं ना। जी
जी, मेरा अंकल है ना, वो साउथ अफ्रीका चले गए थे इंडिया से जब छोटी उम्र थी वहाँ पे। जी। तो पासपोर्ट साउथ अफ्रीका की बना ली थी। जी ठीक है। जी। और बॉन्ड भी साउथ अफ्रीका का ही दिखाया था। जी ठीक है। जी ठीक है। अभी बहुत सालों से इधर रह रहे हैं, उसके पास ब्रिटिश पासपोर्ट भी है। जी जी जी। और शादी भी कर ली इंडिया के अंदर में। जी ओके। तो ओसीआई बनाना है मामा मेरे अंकल को। जी जी जी। तो वाइफ के ऊपर से बन सकता है? ये बन सकता है। उसका नॉर्मली टू वेज होता है ना ओसीआई का। एक तो अगर उसने बर्थ नॉन इंडियन कंट्री से बताया है, फॉर एग्जांपल साउथ अफ्रीका से, सो ही कुड डू इट थ्रू हिज पेरेंट्स ने,
उसके पेरेंट्स के थ्रू भी कर सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल जो यहाँ
पेरेंट्स को दिखाया नहीं था कि बट ऐसे ही बताया था कि मैं साउथ अफ्रीका में था.
जी जी जी. से नॉर्मली क्या होता है कि जो फॉर एग्जांपल इंडियन सिटीजन जो यहाँ है यूके में, जो यूके में बोर्न हुआ है, तो नॉर्मली वो उसके पेरेंट्स के थ्रू करते हैं. सो पेरेंट्स के बर्थ सर्टिफिकेट्स, स्कूल लीविंग सर्टिफिकेट्स बताते हैं. अगर वो नहीं कर सकते तो उसके वाइफ के थ्रू वो अप्लाई कर सकेगा. मगर बिकॉज वो जो OCI का जो सिचुएशन है ना, इट्स टू डू विद इंडियन लॉ. सो मोस्ट यूके के जो इमिग्रेशन लॉयर्स है उसके पास इतनी एक्सपीरियंस नहीं होती OCI के बारे में, बिकॉज OCI की जो सिस्टम है ना ऑब्वियसली वो इंडियन लॉ पे बेस्ड है ना. मगर यहाँ भी लोकली यॉर्कशायर में भी, वेस्ट यॉर्कशायर में लोकली देयर आर कंसल्टेंट्स है यहाँ भी, एक्सपीरियंस ट्रैवल एजेंट्स है, जो नॉर्मली हम क्या करते हैं ऑफिस में अगर OCI का कोई इश्यू आता है ना तो एक दो वेरी एक्सपीरियंस्ड एजेंट्स है तो इसके पास हम भेज देते हैं. तो उसके पास दे हैव अ लॉट ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस OCI के बारे में, नॉट यूके इमिग्रेशन लॉ मगर OCI कार्ड्स के बारे में उसको पता है कि डॉक्यूमेंट्स जो चाहिए ना, किस टाइप ऑफ डॉक्यूमेंट्स एक्सेप्टेबल होंगे, अगर वो नहीं है तो ऑल्टरनेटिव डॉक्यूमेंट्स क्या सबमिट कर सकते हैं, विच टाइप ऑफ एप्लीकेशन नॉर्मली गेट्स रिफ्यूज. तो मैं आपको क्या करूँगा आफ्टर द शो, मैं आपको बता दूँगा कि बेस्ट लोकली यॉर्कशायर, वेस्ट यॉर्कशायर में मैं आपको रिकमेंडेशंस दे सकता हूँ कि हु द बेस्ट एजेंट्स आर OCI कार्ड्स के लिए. ऑब्वियसली नॉट यूके इमिग्रेशन लॉ बट OCI कार्ड्स.
और क्वेश्चन था
जी.
मेरा इंशाल्लाह नेक्स्ट ईयर मेरा इंडेफिनेट हो जाएगा यहाँ
जी.
पे.
ठीक है.
तो मुझे ऐसा सुनाई में आया था अगर कोई क्राइम हमसे हो जाए
जी
तो वो लोग इंडेफिनेट नहीं रहते.
हाँ, वो आपकी बात बिल्कुल सही है. इसमें ये देखना पड़ता है कि वो क्रिमिनल कन्विक्शन जो है ना वो किसके लिए है, दैट इज़ द स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट. सो फॉर एग्जांपल समटाइम्स कन्विक्शंस है जिसको वो कम्प्लीटली इग्नोर करते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर किसी का कन्विक्शन है फॉर मोटरिंग मैटर्स और माइनर मोटरिंग मैटर्स जिसमें कोर्ट में नहीं बुलाया गया, उसको वो 3 पॉइंट्स स्पीडिंग के देते हैं, 3 पॉइंट्स देते हैं फॉर नॉट वेयरिंग योर सीट बेल्ट. जो फिक्स पेनल्टी ऑफेंसेस होते हैं उसको वो इग्नोर करते हैं कम्प्लीटली. मगर इससे आगे
वही मुझे ये था क्योंकि मैं टैक्सी ड्राइवर हूँ ना
जी,
तो हमसे कोई ना छोटी बहुत गलती हो जाए और क्राइम में आ जाए तो मेरे को उसका कोई मसला ना,
उसका मसला हो सकता है. क्योंकि फॉर एग्जांपल इवन मोटरिंग मैटर्स में जो मोटरिंग ऑफेंसेस जो थोड़े से ज़्यादा सीरियस है, फॉर एग्जांपल आपने स्पीडिंग किया मगर स्पीडिंग काफ़ी इट्स वेल ओवर द लिमिट, तो समटाइम्स वो कोर्ट में आपको बुलाते हैं. तो बिकॉज वो मोटरिंग मैटर है मगर कोर्ट में उसका फैसला हुआ कि उसकी सेंटेंस क्या होनी चाहिए, तो इससे क्या होता है, इससे इफ़ेक्ट हो सकता है आपका इंडेफिनेट लीव के एप्लीकेशन पे. और वो क्या करते हैं कि वो इससे बिल्कुल आपको ना नहीं कहते कि आपको वीज़ा नहीं देंगे, मगर इंडेफिनेट लीव का एप्लीकेशन वो रिजेक्ट करते हैं. इसमें फिर वेटिंग टाइम होती है depending on your conviction. Normally uska waiting time from my recollection is about 3 years is my recollection. 2 years, it's 2 or 3. My recollection is 3 years for indefinite. और nationality के लिए भी एक waiting time होती है criminal convictions के लिए. So anything which is more than motoring, जो भी क्रिमिनल मैटर्स है जो कोर्ट में अगर वो पहुंच गया वहाँ से गिल्टी हो गए और फॉर एग्जांपल सिर्फ आपको फाइन ही मिला, नथिंग एल्स, ऑल यू गेट इज़ अ फाइन, नथिंग एल्स, बट इवन देन इससे क्या होता है कि आपका इंडेफिनेट लीव पे और आपका नेशनलिटी पे उसका इफ़ेक्ट होता है. और वो इफ़ेक्ट क्या है कि वो थोड़ा सा टाइम होता है, वो टाइम तक आपको इंडेफिनेट नहीं देंगे, आपको नेशनलिटी नहीं देंगे. रफली 2 to 3 years का नॉर्मल लिमिट होती है. अगर क्रिमिनल कन्विक्शन ज़्यादा सीरियस है तो वेटिंग पीरियड ज़्यादा, इट विल बी इवन लॉन्गर बिफोर यू क्वालिफाई फॉर इंडेफिनेट लीव और बिफोर यू क्वालिफाई फॉर नेशनलिटी.
ओके, फ्यूचर में हो सकता है पर इंडेफिनेट
हाँ, जो हो सकता है एक्सेप्ट जो सीरियस ऑफेंसेस होते हैं ना, वो अभी मुझे एग्जैक्टली याद नहीं है. माई रिकलेक्शन इज़ के अगर कस्टोडियल सेंटेंस है और वो कस्टोडियल सेंटेंस भी कोई लिमिट होती है, माई रिकलेक्शन इज़ 4 years बट आई माइट बी रॉन्ग. तो इससे क्या होता है कि इससे ये होता है कि आप यू डोंट क्वालिफाई फॉर इंडेफिनेट लीव एवर और आप नेशनलिटी के लिए भी क्वालिफाई नहीं हो सकते. सो उसकी डिपेंडिंग ऑन द कन्विक्शन, सॉरी डिपेंडिंग ऑन द सेंटेंस पे डिपेंड होता है कि आपकी वेटिंग पीरियड क्या होगी. from
ओके तो अच्छा मैं इंडेफिनेट हो गया मेरा
जी
और बाद में इंडेफिनेट के बाद मेरा ये कोई कुछ भी ऐसा कोई अल्लाह ना करे
जी
तो हो गया
जी
फ्यूचर में
जी
तो ब्रिटिश पासपोर्ट के लिए जब अप्लाई होगा तब भी ये देखते हैं
दिस इज़ हाँ ये प्रॉब्लम है कि जब ब्रिटिश के लिए आप अप्लाई करेंगे ना तब भी ये लोग देखेंगे और उसका भी एक टेबल होता है। फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल अगर आपको फ़ाइन मिला है तो वो 3 इयर्स के लिए आपको नेशनलिटी नहीं देंगे। अगर आपकी कोई कस्टोडियल सेंटेंस हुई है तो इसमें 10 इयर्स का लिमिट है, 15 इयर्स का लिमिट है। जिसकी प्रिजन सेंटेंस, कस्टोडियल सेंटेंस 4 इयर्स से ज़्यादा जिसको मिला है तो इसको बिल्कुल ही नेशनलिटी नहीं देंगे। सो उसका लिमिट है फ्रॉम 2 इयर्स, 10 इयर्स, 15 इयर्स एंड नेवर, डिपेंडिंग ऑन जो सेंटेंस जो आपको मिली है ना, इस पे डिपेंड होता है। सो अभी मैं देख रहा हूँ क्योंकि आज नेशनलिटी की शो करते थे, अभी मैं गाइडेंस को देख रहा हूँ कि नेशनलिटी में मिनिमम अगर आपको फ़ाइन मिला है तो नेशनलिटी में मिनिमम आपको 3 इयर्स के लिए वेट करना पड़ता है। अगर आपने इंडेफिनेट, इससे पहले की बात है, आप इंडेफिनेट के लिए फॉर एग्जांपल अप्लाई कर रहे हैं, माय रिकलेक्शन इज के इंडेफिनेट में 2 इयर्स के लिए इफेक्ट होता है फॉर दिस माइनर ऑफेंसेस। सो इम्पोर्टेंट है कि जब तक आपका नेशनलिटी ना हो जाए, कि कोई ऐसा कोई प्रॉब्लम ना आ जाए, इवन ना मोटरिंग मैटर में आप कोई इन्वॉल्व ना हो जाए जिससे आपका इंडेफिनेट पे आपका नेशनलिटी पे इफेक्ट हो जाए।
जज़ाकल्लाह।
No problem. Thank you, Jazakallah. Thank you very much for your call. Thank you. So that obviously that question touched upon nationality as well. But what we were looking at today is nationality applications, which is normally the last stage of the application process. And what I was saying just before we received the call was that we need to be careful now, even with nationality applications, because there are a number of areas where things could go wrong. In previous shows, we've looked at the residence requirement. So normally you need to have lived in the UK for 5 years and you must have indefinite leave. There are circumstances in which you can apply earlier. Let's look at the issue of what the effect that criminality has and what this good character requirement is all about. So let's look at conduct and how conduct can affect your nationality application, which touches upon the last caller who called in. And what I was saying was that normally when you make a nationality application, if it's a minor motoring matter, the Home Office will normally ignore that and not make an issue of that. So what it says is where there's a fixed penalty notice that's been issued, then although you have to disclose it, but it says that normally the Home Office will not take into account that fixed penalty offence. Although you have to declare your motoring convictions, normally these convictions will be ignored. Now the problem that occurs is where matters actually end up in the criminal court, even though it may be just the magistrate's court. So it's not the most serious of criminal offences, it's been dealt with within the magistrate's court. Even then, there are offences which can have an impact on your nationality. So for example, let's say a matter goes to court and all that happens is that the sentence is non-custodial. So there's no prison sentence at all, but the way the courts dealt with it is to give a fine to somebody or to give a suspended sentence, or there might be, if it's more serious, there might be a community service order made. So it's not a prison sentence, it's been dealt with in court and it's been dealt with in a way other than a prison sentence. The problem is that does have an effect on your nationality application. For at least 3 years, you will not qualify for British nationality. So that's something that you need to bear in mind, which is what the caller was asking about just before we started talking about this subject, that if there is a conviction which goes to court, it will have, as a minimum, it will have an effect on your nationality application for 3 years. Now, as the sentence gets more serious, it has a longer effect on your nationality. So, for example, if somebody receives a custodial sentence and it's for a period for less than 12 months, less than 1 year, then that means that although the sentence is for less than 1 year, it might just be for 6 months. It means that the applicant will not be eligible to apply for nationality for a period of 10 years. So it has a real impact. Even if the sentence is for a few weeks, it has an impact on your nationality application for a period of 10 years. If the prison sentence is more serious and it's between 1 year and 4 years, then you are not eligible for nationality for a period of 15 years. So it gets, the impact is more severe, more significant. And where the sentence is 4 years or more, so for the more serious offences, what the guidance says is that normally the nationality application will be refused, and normally there's no discretion exercised by the Secretary of State in that regard. So from minor convictions to major convictions, they can have an impact on criminality. Now, the reality is that in practice, this isn't normally an issue. Very rarely do you come across criminal convictions and the problems associated with that and nationality applications. You don't normally come across that. You might come across situations where somebody has a motoring conviction and they want to look at what the impact of that is. So it might be that they need to wait a couple of years. You don't normally come across lengthier prison sentences in practice. The more usual issue that you come across in terms of character, in terms of good character, is where people have overstayed in the United Kingdom in the 10-year period prior to submitting the nationality application. That's a major problem at the moment. So on the one hand, when you make a nationality application, the Home Office is looking at your residence over the last 3 years or over the last 5 years. Married to a British national, normally the Home Office will look at your residence over the last 3 years. If you're not married to a British national, the Home Office will look at your residence over the last 5 years to see whether you qualify under the residence requirement. But even though the residence requirement looks at 5 years and 3 years, when it comes to good character, when it comes to looking at your conduct, the Home Office actually goes much further back. They look at your conduct, they look at your character over the last 10 years. Now, we're not looking at criminality here. We're really looking at whether there's been any period of overstaying in those last 10 years. Now, there's been a number of challenges against this particular approach that the Home Office is taking, but generally the courts are saying that it's acceptable for the Home Office to look 10 years back, to look at somebody's character, somebody's overstaying in the 10 years prior to that. So you really do need to be careful about that. The kind of applicants who run into difficulties are normally applicants who came to the United Kingdom a long time ago. And maybe they came as asylum seekers, maybe they claimed asylum, maybe the application was refused, they overstayed, and then they managed to qualify for indefinite leave to remain under the old legacy scheme, or they managed to qualify for indefinite leave to remain because they married a British partner, etc., or based on their children. So somehow they've managed to get into an immigration scheme which has resulted in them qualifying for indefinite leave to remain. When they apply for nationality, the Home Office looks back 10 years, and if there's been a period of overstaying, the Home Office will generally ask the applicant to explain why there's been a period of overstaying, and if there is no real explanation as to how the applicant survived financially during that period, if the Home Office suspects that the person might have been working illegally, the nationality application will be refused. So in terms of character, the convictions and the effect that convictions have on nationality applications, that's not normally a problem. The bigger problem seems to be overstaying in the 10-year period prior to the application being made. Now that does have a real severe impact on whether the nationality application will succeed or not. So that really looks at the issue regarding criminality and good character. Now, even on that good character requirement, if the Home Office does write to you and the Home Office says, look, the issue really is that there's been a period of overstaying. We want to know how you survived financially during that period. It is possible to get over that hurdle if you are able to demonstrate how you managed to survive financially during that period. So what the Home Office seems to be looking at in these cases is not so much the fact that there's been a period of overstaying. What they're really looking at is whether there was, whether you can demonstrate that you did not work illegally in the United Kingdom. So what they want to look at is how did you survive? And the sort of issues that we've come across and dealt with, normally when this issue has been raised over good character and any period of overstaying in the 10 years prior to the visa application, when that's been raised as an issue, what we've normally tried to explain is, look, the applicant lived in the United Kingdom by, this is the case, by living with family, by living with friends and family members or friends who they've lived with, them providing evidence that, look, they lived with us in our house, we provided free accommodation, we looked after them financially. So the focus when you're looking at the last 10 years and there's been a period of overstaying is really on how did you survive financially without working illegally. It's this issue about good character seems to be driven by trying to ensure, as far as the Home Office can, that people haven't worked illegally in the 10 years prior to the nationality application. Where there's a period of overstaying, they will ask you to explain what were you doing, how were you surviving. So you do need to be careful. It's not just a question of looking at criminal convictions. You do need to look at any period of overstaying and being prepared to explain how you survived during that time. Now, obviously, we've looked at character, the impact of character on the nationality application. We'll be taking a short break. After we come back, we'll look at the more basic requirements of nationality applications. Should be back in the next couple of minutes.